Everyone agrees that electric cars are either too costly or too unsatisfactory. However, everything is different now. With an estimated price of $12,000, General Motors has just unveiled an electric car that breaks all expectations. $12,000 for a brand new electric car is not an error. This is more than just an inexpensive substitute. It poses a direct threat to all of the big automakers, including Tesla, the market leader. Nobody anticipated this. By establishing itself as a high-end brand, Tesla has long held a dominant position in the electric vehicle market. Even its cheapest model, the Model 3, is more than 5 times more expensive than General Motors' most recent model. General Motors is adopting a different strategy, one that places an emphasis on accessibility and affordability, whereas Tesla has concentrated on software, range, and performance. This isn't a concept car or an unusable, stripped-down automobile. It is a practical solution made for regular drivers. It is practical, effective, and, above all, achievable. However, the most important question still stands. How well does it work in reality, given the low price? Does cheap, however, equate to slow? Let's discuss performance. Performance. Quicker than anticipated? An electric car that costs $12,000 ought to be sluggish. The first surprise is that the car is less expensive than the majority of used gas-powered cars. According to conventional wisdom, speed, acceleration, and efficiency are sacrificed for affordability. That notion was just disproved by General Motors. This vehicle provides a level of immediate torque that no low-cost, gas-powered vehicle can match thanks to a single electric motor powering the front wheels. Despite not being a high-performance vehicle, it has sufficient power to drive confidently through urban areas and compete on the highway. An electric powertrain's instantaneous response eliminates any delay or hesitation when applying the accelerator. That is important in stop-and-go situations. It is effortless, smooth, and unmatched by anything in its price range. Range is the next surprise. According to official estimates, this vehicle can go more than 300 miles on a single charge. However, figures on paper don't always reflect reality. It not only held up, but also surpassed expectations in real-world testing. In contrast to many low-cost electric cars that have trouble reaching their stated mileage, this one turned out to be effective, reliable, and strong. That modifies the topic of discussion. A car this inexpensive shouldn't be able to compete with more expensive models. However, it does in some way. Another area where it challenges preconceptions is charging. General Motors has made significant advancements in fast charging infrastructure, but Tesla is still the industry leader. When this car is connected to a fast charging station, it can quickly restore a sizable percentage of its range. Home charging is a practical choice for the majority of drivers because it is more than sufficient for daily use. What really exceeds expectations is the way this car handles, not just its speed and range. It is precise, balanced, and lightweight, but it does not drive like a cheap car. Rather, it seems steady, collected, and surprisingly sophisticated. At higher speeds, it stays silent, steers predictably, and absorbs bumps well. This is where things start to get interesting because this car's interior completely defies expectations. Let's take a look inside to see what $12,000 actually gets you. Interior, inexpensive or ingenious. You would think a car this cheap would feel like a toy. Older screens, thin plastic panels, and a dashboard that trembles when you bump into it. The shocking thing is that this one doesn't. The first thing you notice when you walk in is the technology. A voice-activated assistant is seamlessly integrated with a digital display that spans the dashboard. In contrast to many entry-level vehicles, this system doesn't seem like an afterthought. It is surprisingly sophisticated, responsive, and fluid. Every command and every touch reacts instantly, creating the appearance of a high-end setup. There is only seamless, effortless functionality, no lag or hesitation. However, something is lacking before it can be deemed a technological triumph. No smartphone mirroring is available. There is no choice for external systems, and integrating Google or Apple interfaces is not simple. The manufacturer's proprietary software powers everything. This means that unless they are downloaded separately through a restricted marketplace, there will be no Apple navigation or well-known music streaming apps. Beyond the screens, it seems like the seating arrangement was made with functionality in mind. The cabin doesn't feel crowded thanks to the thoughtful use of space, which makes the most of every inch that is available. Taller passengers can still fit comfortably in the back, and the front seats provide good legroom. This is where an electric platform's effectiveness really comes into play. The car feels larger than its compact classification indicates because the interior dimensions are slightly expanded to avoid the large mechanics of a conventional combustion engine. Comfort, however, is a different topic. Although supportive, the seats don't have the softness of high-end materials. They accomplish the task, but they don't encourage prolonged rest. There are only useful, functional upholstery options, no elaborate stitching or expensive fabric choices. The same is true for storage. The strategically positioned compartments provide just enough adaptability for everyday requirements. Large door pockets, a cleverly placed underdash storage space, and a deep center console provide convenience without going overboard. Despite not being the best in its class, the cargo area has a low loading floor. This implies that it is simpler to lift large bags, which is a minor but significant benefit for city drivers. Despite all of its advantages, there are some areas where cost-cutting is obvious. The climate control system is simple and allows for temperature control in a single zone. Due to the lack of rear seat vents, back passengers must rely solely on front airflow. Even the audio system is decent, but it lacks the clarity and depth that contemporary cars are supposed to have. There is no premium sound option, the bass is thin, and the highs are a little muted. These little things serve as a reminder of the areas where concessions were made. What's the catch? Even with its thoughtful design, the vehicle lacks the opulent sophistication of more expensive models. Although the materials are sturdy, they lack some contemporary conveniences, which may turn off buyers used to upscale features. Lumbar support, power-adjustable settings, and heated seats are all available, but only with the purchase of additional packages. The biggest shock, though, this low-cost electric car looks really pricey. Exterior, an affordable vehicle with a high-end appearance? The majority of inexpensive cars have a dull appearance. Easy to use, practical, and quickly forgotten. However, this one attracts attention. Its sleek design is the first thing that catches the eye. This car uses sculpted edges and smooth lines to look sleek and sophisticated, in contrast to many entry-level models that rely on large proportions to make an impression. Each curve is deliberate and intended to increase productivity while preserving a contemporary, assured posture. There's more to the aerodynamic profile than meets the eye. Without using more battery power, it actively improves performance by decreasing drag and increasing range. Its personality is greatly influenced by the lighting. The front end appears more assertive thanks to the sharp, angular headlights that cut through the design. With a continuous light bar that spans the width of the vehicle, the back is equally unique. This design decision is frequently found in high-end models, but it is implemented here without needless bulk or complexity. A more refined appearance is achieved by even the smallest details, such as the delicate integration of door handles and the absence of overbearing badging. Beyond appearance, however, the exterior is defined by the quality of the construction. The body panels are precisely aligned, feel substantial, and have few gaps. This car is consistent throughout, unlike some low-cost models where cost-cutting results in uneven finishes. The paint quality withstands scrutiny, eschewing the thin, easily scratched coatings that occasionally mar cheaper models. Durability is given careful consideration, guaranteeing that the car will not only look good when brand new, but also continue to be present over time. How does it stack up against its most formidable opponent? It not only holds its own, but also defies expectations when parked next to its direct rival. This car leans toward a more balanced, approachable design, in contrast to others that rely on a futuristic, nearly sterile approach. It is confident without being combative and modern without trying too hard. Instead of imitating models of luxury, it embraces well-executed simplicity. However, the true magic lies beneath the surface, not just in appearance. Because this vehicle's foundation is more than just a platform. It's a declaration, a statement stating that affordability need not entail giving in. The next step is to examine what drives it all in order to comprehend how important that is. The platform that enabled it. This is more than just a reasonably priced electric car. It is an examination of automotive technology's future. Building an electric car at a price point that undercuts practically all of its rivals on the market is something that General Motors has accomplished that seemed unthinkable only a few years ago. However, there is more to this innovative pricing strategy than just cost reduction. It represents a fundamental change in the planning, development, and scaling of electric vehicles. General Motors is redefining what is feasible in the electric vehicle market by emphasizing production and technological efficiency. The Ultium battery platform from General Motors is at the heart of this innovation. This platform is completely modular, in contrast to traditional electric vehicle architectures that call for unique battery packs for every model. This implies that a single basic system can be applied to a variety of automobiles, ranging from high-performance electric trucks to the smallest, most affordable models. General Motors can increase manufacturing while maintaining low costs thanks to this modular approach, which lowers production complexity. Electric vehicles are now more widely available than ever thanks to a streamlined production process that gets rid of waste and inefficiencies. The battery system is revolutionary in and of itself. General Motors has made its batteries upgradable and reparable at the module level rather than utilizing separate battery packs made for particular models. This implies that the entire battery pack does not need to be replaced if one battery cell deteriorates over time. This increases the vehicle's usable life and significantly lowers long-term maintenance costs. Additionally, it creates room for future improvements, enabling drivers to increase the efficiency and range of their car without having to replace the entire system. Customers will benefit from a lower cost of ownership and fewer concerns regarding battery longevity as a result. Even though the technology shows promise, General Motors has actually had difficulties implementing electric vehicles in the past. Using the same platform, the Blazer electric car had early software problems that necessitated recalls and significant updates. Whether General Motors has learned from its mistakes and put solutions in place to stop similar problems from happening with this less expensive model is the question at hand. Although General Motors has made notable advancements in software stability, the early signs are encouraging. However, only time will tell if this platform is as dependable as it is inventive. A solid start is essential because any significant reliability problems could erode trust in this new, reasonably priced electric car. This platform's focus on the long-term goals for electric vehicles rather than just affordability is what makes it so appealing. Because of this modular, scalable strategy, General Motors is producing more than one affordable vehicle. It is setting the stage for a whole range of electric cars that will gain from ongoing advancements in software, charging infrastructure, and battery efficiency. This implies that more expensive cars may eventually adopt the technology found in today's low-cost models, and vice versa, guaranteeing that developments in electric mobility are accessible to a larger market. This is where the situation becomes even more intriguing. This vehicle is incredibly cost-effective to own in addition to being reasonably priced up front. With less fuel, less maintenance, and the possibility of software and battery upgrades, this electric car has the potential to completely change the way that people view owning a car. This could mark the start of a new era where electric cars are not only a luxury option, but also the go-to option for regular drivers if General Motors fulfills its commitments. Is the true price too good to be true? The price tag of $12,000 is the topic of conversation. The majority of people, however, are unaware of what that price truly includes and excludes. Although this appears to be the most reasonably priced new electric car in recent memory, the true cost of ownership is more complicated than the sticker price alone. Although affordability makes the most news, buyers who want to get the most out of their purchase must understand the trade-offs. The car has all the necessary features at the base price, but there are restrictions. If buyers desire more comfort features, a longer range, or more sophisticated driver assistance technology, they will need to take into account optional upgrades. Even with its best configuration, this car is still far less expensive than rivals, but some of these add-ons can raise the price considerably. But picking the correct setup is crucial. Investing more in upgrades could close the gap between this entry-level model and more expensive electric cars with superior features and performance. The lower operating costs of electric vehicles over gasoline-powered vehicles are among their main benefits. Regenerative braking prolongs the life of brake components. There is no need for oil changes, and fewer moving parts translate into fewer mechanical failures. In addition to being substantially less expensive than filling up at a gas station, charging at home can also result in a lower cost of ownership for individuals who are eligible for local incentives. Long-term affordability is further enhanced by the fact that electric vehicles typically have lower maintenance costs over time. The ultimate cost is also significantly influenced by state and federal incentives. Tax credits that reduce the effective price by thousands of dollars may be available to certain purchasers. Utility companies in some areas even provide rebates for home charger installation, further lowering the cost of ownership. After accounting for these incentives, the vehicle's price may decrease to the point where it is nearly incomparable in terms of cost effectiveness. Customers who fully utilize government programs may be able to purchase an electric car for less money than many used gasoline vehicles. Concerns exist, nevertheless, regarding long-term resale value. Although gasoline-powered vehicles tend to lose value more quickly than electric vehicles, this low-cost model is entering a market where rapid technological advancements may cause depreciation to occur more quickly. The longevity and performance of the batteries will be crucial determinants of how well these cars retain their value over time. Resale value may hold steady if General Motors' modular battery design is successful in the long run. But depreciation might be higher than anticipated if consumers believe this to be a cheap, disposable electric car. This will be particularly true if later models have much faster charging times and greater range, which will make older models less appealing. The total cost of ownership is still remarkably low in spite of these factors. And for that reason, this car is causing such a stir in the market. The goal is to transform electric vehicles from luxury goods to necessities for daily life, not just to make them more affordable. The emergence of a new era in electric mobility may be imminent as more automakers adapt to this change. However, there is one more crucial thing to think about before anyone rushes to place an order, because some things are deal breakers even at this price. The cons: GM's unspoken weaknesses. There are a few catchy details if this seems too good to be true. This car is not an exception to the rule that no car at this price range can be flawless. Potential customers should be aware of the trade-offs before making a choice, even though it excels in efficiency and affordability. Range is the first and most evident restriction. The car has a decent range for short commutes and city driving, but not enough for long-distance driving. This implies that drivers who live in places with poor charging infrastructure or who frequently travel by car might want to reconsider switching. Accessibility to charging is another issue. Even though General Motors has made a commitment to growing its network of charging stations, it is still far smaller than Tesla's well-established setup. This entails increased dependence on third-party networks, longer wait times, and less consistent availability of charging stations. For people with access to home charging, this might not be a big problem. However, charging convenience will be a major concern for people who live in apartments or don't have dedicated parking. Another possible disadvantage is build quality. General Motors has had to make manufacturing and material concessions in order to reach this record low price. This does not imply that the car is badly constructed, but it does imply that it might not be as refined or long-lasting as more expensive models. The driving experience may be less comfortable than with more costly options due to the basic interior materials and poor sound insulation. It is also important to take into account General Motors' history of producing early electric cars. Although the business has made significant progress in enhancing software and dependability, previous problems with cars like the Blazer electric vehicle indicate that early adopters might encounter some unforeseen hiccups. Many of these issues can be resolved with software updates, but prospective purchasers should be informed that no first-generation car is completely free of possible problems. Despite these disadvantages, it is impossible to overlook this vehicle's influence on the sector. It disproves conventional wisdom regarding the appropriate price of an electric car and demonstrates that affordability and sustainability can coexist. And nobody is more under pressure than Tesla. Whether Tesla will react is the true question. Can it afford to allow a car manufacturer to significantly undercut its prices? Price reductions may result in reduced profit margins, which would not sit well with investors. But if General Motors ignores the competition, it might be able to take a sizable portion of the market for electric vehicles. Although Tesla has already reduced the cost of some of its cars in recent years, General Motors' action completely alters the market. Who produces the most economical and useful electric vehicle is now more important than who produces the best. It's not just Tesla that should be concerned. Two additional automakers have been making significant efforts to enter the market for reasonably priced electric vehicles. In addition to appending Tesla, General Motors is also appending Hyundai and Kia. GM is appending Hyundai in addition to disrupting Tesla. Hyundai has long been regarded as one of the top choices for people seeking reasonably priced electric cars. It was very competitive because it was able to strike a balance between features, range, and price. However, the regulations were recently revised by General Motors. An electric car that is substantially less expensive than anything Hyundai sells compels the company to reconsider its approach. Now, the question is whether Hyundai can remain a competitor in the low-cost electric vehicle market, or if it will have to change its positioning. The new electric car from Hyundai has been making waves because it's a useful and well-rounded choice. It has a robust range, good build quality, and an easy-to-use suite of technologies. However, it is no longer the most affordable choice. Due to General Motors' significant undercut, Hyundai's new battlefield is affordability. Hyundai is in a difficult situation as a result. It will need to lower prices or add more features to make the price point more affordable if it hopes to compete. The difficulty lies in reducing costs without sacrificing quality. Excessive cost-cutting may mean compromising some of the qualities that initially drew people to Hyundai's electric cars, like dependability and cutting-edge safety features. Hyundai's reputation for long-term dependability has been one of its greatest advantages. Its electric cars have garnered great feedback for their dependability and effectiveness, which has increased consumer confidence. But will Hyundai have to lower its prices now that General Motors is providing a more affordable option? Will it be able to keep up the same standard of quality if it does? That's the problem Hyundai is currently facing. The business might attempt to use its better technology and build quality to support a higher price. But in a market where consumers are price conscious, they might just choose the less expensive option. Branding is the other difficulty. Hyundai has devoted years to establishing itself as a market leader for affordable electric vehicles. However, now that a rival is providing an even more cost-effective choice, Hyundai will need to rethink what makes its cars unique. Will it increase its emphasis on affordability to hold onto its position, or will it move toward premium features and dependability? The company's long-term success in the expanding and fiercely competitive electric vehicle market may depend on its next course of action. Kia is up against a fresh challenge to relevance.